Hello and welcome to Casual Shenanigans Gaming, episode 15. I believe this is 15 for the week of beginning of June.
It's my favorite week of the year.
It's 1 week or less than 1 week before E3, and we are going to talk about E3 tonight. We're not going to talk about DayZ tonight because.
Thank God.
Okay, well,
Joel gets enough from me about DayZ at work.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I'm forgetting. We got to go around and introduce everybody, and then we'll talk about why we're not talking about DayZ this week. So let's go down the line. I'm one of your hosts, JERMgaming, also known as Jeremiah, and I am joined by Chris.
Hello, everybody.
Dave.
Guys, I am Dave, the not so evil Viking 13.
James.
I have no tagline.
Joel.
Hey guys.
Joy.
Hello.
And Steve.
Hey, guys.
Well, that's Joel's line.
Yeah,
But he
You gotta
didn't
say
say
with a
it
bit of lazy.
howdy.
Okay, well, that's not really any better, but sure. You're a writer, Steve. I expect more from you.
I try.
Anyway, so Dave, why are we not going to talk about DayZ this week?
because we could be horribly wrong on everything.
And why is that?
It's a bunch of stuff that came out in live stream chats and all. Rocket was answering some questions, and a lot of it's pretty exciting info, so you guys should look it up if you really want to check out all the behind the scenes stuff. But odds are we're going to see some live streams and interviews and all at E3 that will kind of concretely answer some of those questions. So we should probably not speculate 2 days before all the answers come out, what does it all mean? And
Because by the time this goes up, by the time a lot of people see this, it would probably all be wrong.
Yeah.
So this is going to be an E3-centric podcast, and we have a bunch of questions.
And Steve just learned what E3 is. I'm very excited about that.
So for the benefit of anyone who might not know what E3 is, Joel, can you give us the 30-second rundown on what E3 is?
It's that magical time of year when your parents come into your bedroom.
What?
I'm scared.
We're 2 minutes in, and I've got to start editing
Go.
already.
Well, this one you can edit because it's not live, right?
Yeah, but I don't want to have to.
And 30 seconds is up.
Derailed.
What a great definition
All
of
right,
E3.
Joel, don't worry. I'll go ahead and take this one.
No, I'll do it. Okay.
All right.
E3, it actually means the Electronic Expo. I believe?
Electronics
Okay.
Entertainment
Yeah,
Expo,
Entertainment.
E3.
Yeah, shut up.
The E2.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
I think
No,
E3 is Sergeant, too. Anyway.
It's basically Christmas week for gamers and nerds, where all the bigwigs that make games and consoles and stuff, they reveal all sorts of awesome stuff, games to new devices to Wii Fit, sports.
Plus things you'll actually want to buy.
And lots of Kinect games. A lot of Kinect games.
Star Wars Connect.
We'll get
Somebody's
into
got to give
predictions
you
in a bit.
socks.
We're gonna have some predictions in a couple minutes, but in case some of you came into the podcast and didn't see the email earlier, we're gonna get 3 predictions from everybody on what you think is gonna happen in E3, and that way next podcast we can tally up points.
Yeah, I
And see who wins.
I actually have a Google Doc right now with everybody's name on it, so we can
Sweet.
see next week or next podcast. We can see who is right.
Okay. So the reason E3 is even more significant this year is that there are, it kind of feels mean to Nintendo to say this, but the new console generation's beginning this year. Not last year when the Wii 2 or Wii U or whatever came out, but
The whatever came out.
The
this
Wii
year,
underachiever.
which compared to PCs, the new consoles are kind of underachievers too. But the new consoles are going to be coming out this year, the major consoles. So this will be kind of what dictates the next next 5 or 6 years of a lot of the games we're going to be playing. So it's very exciting, or it's very horrifying, depending on what gets announced. But all we know for sure is Sony and Microsoft are going to be desperately trying to outdo each other at their press conferences. I think, doesn't Microsoft go first?
Yes.
Yeah, they're Eastern Standard Time. It should be at 12 noon. So.
Yeah, so in case you didn't watch the Xbox One reveal, and Xbox One is the name of the new Xbox. Instead of calling it Xbox 3, it's now called Xbox One, although Xbox One technically released like 11 or 12 years ago. Anyway,
That's gotta be
Microsoft made a
playing
lot.
havoc with Google searches right now.
Yeah. Microsoft didn't really make a whole lot of friends in the console gaming community with the Xbox One reveal because they pretty much talked about like television and Kinect for like
and
an hour.
sports.
And Call of Duty.
Lots of sports.
Call of Duty sports.
Call of Duty.
The most amazing game ever. It has fish that swim away from you. Like
Fish
Super
physics,
Mario
guys.
64. It has a fully mocap dog who you know is going to die. That dog is going to die in that game. But yeah,
I still love the internet's name for the new Call of Duty, which is Collar Duty, as in COLLAR Duty. Collar Duty.
Nice.
yeah, they didn't really blow anyone away at the press conference, or at least that's the impression I've been getting. Do any of you console guys, were you pretty impressed with the Microsoft press conference from a couple weeks ago?
No, I
I
was
think I
pretty
enjoyed our
pissed.
sarcastic chat more than I enjoyed the actual conference.
Yeah. It was exciting to actually see the system because I think it's a slick looking system and I think it's gonna still be pretty cool in the end for playing games. I was just annoyed that they didn't show off games. I was just really surprised they showed off so much TV stuff because everyone I know is getting rid of cable.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. It wasn't like just here's how you can watch all your shows through our Xbox services. It was like here's how you can hook up your cable connection to your new Xbox and enjoy it.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
only if you're in North America and
Which
in
I
the
guess
US.
they have to have some sort of edge because otherwise, like my $100 Apple TV does all the rest of the TV stuff that the Xbox One can do. Like
if you could somehow plug the Apple TV into the Xbox because the Apple TV goes out via HDMI. So if you connect that into your Xbox and you're playing, you just want to switch back to your TV. I like the quickness of being able to switch. That would be pretty cool. You could just say TV and it would just go to that default HD channel.
but
or
I could do that
whatever.
with the input button on my remote control for
But-
my TV.
Yeah,
too.
but you don't have to do that. It's just all
But
connected.
you can't speak to your remote. Come
That's
on.
true. That's true. My remote
I mean,
uses
you could.
I'm
but it's
always
not gonna do
losing my
anything.
remotes too.
I thought it was very strange that they showed so much behind the scenes footage. Like, I loved that stuff. Seeing tours of the studios and seeing the guys work on the mocap and all. I find that super interesting, but I'm like, most people who are watching stuff for the new Call of Duty probably don't care about the mocapping of the dog.
Yeah.
At all. I'm like, this is cool behind the scenes stuff. Like, I'm enjoying it, but this is like your first press conference and that's what you lead with? That's
The
weird.
demographic that would be impressed by mocapping a dog is not the demographic that is going to buy Call
They're
of
the
Duty.
demographic of PC gamers.
Yeah. Like, if this is a Bohemia press conference, they'd spend the entire time talking about how the bees have shadows and full AI and everything, and then not talk
The
about,
bees.
like, when's it coming out, how much does it cost, is it
Are
going to
there
work?
going to be bees in DayZ? Because that'd be awesome if you hiding in the bush and then you get swarmed.
There are, there are
Oh my
bees in Arma
goodness.
3. There are bees in Arma 3, and they have their own shadows. Like, the
But
sun...
is there nests or
I
hives
don't
and stuff? That
know.
would
There's
be
just...
awesome.
They fly around.
There's just
Anyway.
an environment.
Pollination system
Pollination system.
makes absolutely no difference to you, but it's a more living world.
We took 20
So,
years of bee research.
So our first question is, what are you most excited for at E3? And I think, as usual, we're going to go straight down the line. So Chris is first. Chris, what are you most excited for to come out of E3?
Games.
All right,
me? You're not
maybe
excited
I don't
like
know.
a
I
tiny
mean,
more.
what-
Was there any particular game you're looking forward to seeing at E3?
No, I guess to be more specific, I think the most interested thing I'm seeing is just games with the addition of kind of what has become PC standards for everyone and the way that that's going to drive things forward. I'm, the kind of always online social stuff, not social games in the I'm playing it in my living room with my two friends who
Right.
aren't actually my friends. But yeah, just stuff like DayZ, stuff like just big crazy stuff that PCs have been doing for a while, but as it hits mainstream it'll,
Right,
I don't know. It's hard to explain.
The shackles are being taken off of system limitations for a lot of these
Yeah.
people. So
Instead of like next gen graphics, this I think is going to be the next step of, much more integrated games.
right. Well, and like with most console generations, the first couple games of the new consoles rarely look a whole lot better than the better looking games of the last generation. Like, it usually takes a little while for them to really get good. And which we've already seen, like all the graphics they showed, and they're talking about how Call of Duty was like the most amazing graphics engine ever. All I could think was, that doesn't look as good as Battlefield 3 did a year and a half
Or
ago.
Crisis in 2007.
So, yeah. Dave, what are you
Crisis
looking forward
3
to?
For that matter.
I think overall, I like how Chris put it. Just the idea that we're finally going to break free of this previous console generation, and we're going to see hopefully innovation on everything and not just graphics. We're just going to kind of break free. Specifically, I guess DayZ is kind of the obvious answer. Surprise, surprise.
But now there's not really going to be like a press conference for DayZ, is there? Is there going to be a panel or?
That's what made me laugh. All these developers have been planning like these massive super conferences, like Battlefield 3 multiplayer release event at 4:00. Sign up on Facebook, watch the live stream, watch the video, tweet to your friends. Whereas Bohemia, like they were all working late tonight on the build for E3, and someone tweeted at Matt Lightfoot asking like, "Hey, I know you guys are gonna have DayZ playable on the floor. Like, will it be a live stream?" He's like, "Hey, a live stream? That's a pretty good idea. We should look into that." It's just like,
Yeah, they don't have the money at all.
Yeah.
to go.
Well,
do something
I don't
like
know.
that,
After
so.
the success of DayZ, they should be rolling in a lot more money than they were planning on. I
I don't
mean,
know.
after,
I
Not
feel
something
like
to be able
Bohemia
to
was
do
on
something
thin
like that,
ice, like as far as finances go.
well-
it's a lot of money to hold those big events.
oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm
Just
not saying
knowing
like
them, they're not gonna blow it all like some of these devs do on big booths. I think they're
really
just
all
gonna wait
Bohemia
to-
needs to do for their fan base. All they need to do is walk out on stage and be like, "Here's a PowerPoint of the features in the beta for Arma." Click, click, click. The beta's now live. Everyone stands up and cheers. Like that's really all they need to do.
Then 1,000 YouTube videos.
No,
come
I
out
think
to
you
break
mean
it all down.
3 people stand up and cheer.
I was laughing
I mean,
too.
they don't necessarily want to show the game off completely to everyone. They only want the hardcore people that actually are into it because it's not a finished game. It's not going to look beautiful to some random person who wants to get into a
That's
game.
true.
The selling point of the game is the actual features when you actually get into it and can get into a server and play with friends and have a good experience after the 10th time.
Right.
But looking at it first thing, it's not going to be a seller point for them. So.
Somebody pulled up the floor map of the main like E3 show floor, and you see like EA and Microsoft with these massive booths that cover like 30% of the show floor. And then Bohemia has this like bathroom size like square off to the side. It's like
Like a
postage
portable
stamp.
hot dog cart.
Get your games, come get your games.
Get them while they're hot. Get them while they're hot.
James, what are you looking forward to?
Well, I'm pretty excited about the Superman Man of Steel premiere on Oh, wait.
Yeah, me too. Anyone going to see it at midnight?
Yes.
I'm too cheap to go see movies.
Definitely
in the
seeing it
theater.
midnight.
I haven't decided if we're going to yet, but we kind of want to.
I'm pretty excited. I mean, I don't really care about how the console looks for PS4, but I am excited that they're going to move forward and divulge a lot more details. And they've really established that it is a gaming first system.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to see what other kind of bells and whistles that it's going to offer. I mean, that's not going to sway me in any way, but there's that curiosity. What's it going to look like? What other features it's going to have? Is remote play going to work this time?
Yeah, will Sony finally learn?
I'm more excited about the stuff that hasn't been announced. Just that little glimmer of hope that they'll maybe show some Fallout, just even a 10-second "we're making one" type
My
clip.
body is ready.
Maybe for Joel's sake, Half-Life.
Well, okay.
No,
we'll talk.
come on.
just
You're actually joining my side? I swear.
No.
The last 3 years, I'm like, James, this is gonna be the year. And he's like,
You're wrong every year, obviously.
He loves
I've
seeing
really
my
enjoyed-
depression.
I've enjoyed your anguish.
See, like I'm just as excited as Joel, but I just treat it as like it's the same level of excitement as if I won the lottery, I'd do this. I don't even play the lottery, so my odds are pretty slim. But it's the same thing
You're
with
saying the
Half-Life
odds of
3.
them coming out with a game anytime soon is close to the lottery odds?
Yeah, kind of. but like I treat it with the same level of excitement. Like I'll be super excited when it happens, but I'm not like staying up at night waiting for it because I'm, it'll be a long wait. And you don't want the same thing to happen to like all the people who were so excited for a new Diablo for like 8 years of watching Blizzard release a concept painting every 6 months or something, and then it comes out and they're like, wait a second, I don't like any of this. I guess what I'm excited for at E3 is I'm excited to see the new exclusives or new IPs. I guess I don't really want to see a bunch of new console exclusives because I want to be able to play them. But I'm looking forward to seeing new IPs because now more than ever, it's going to be easier to port stuff onto the PC, or it should be easier to port stuff. And, new IPs, that's the lifeblood of the next couple years of gaming. I mean, we've had some really awesome franchises this past generation, and they're all pretty much winding to a close. I mean, I don't know of any that aren't feeling a little bit tired at this point. So I'm kind of excited to see, like, what's going to be the Call of Duty for the next generation. Because you think about it, a generation ago, Call of Duty was just like another World War II shooter. I mean, they weren't really that special. People liked them, but they weren't that huge until Modern Warfare came out and they kind of took over the world. But I'm just excited to see what people's new stuff. I mean, the stuff like Watch Dogs that we've seen already, like, it looks pretty good, but I haven't been blown away by any of the next gen stuff I've seen yet. So that's what I'm looking to be blown away by, some crazy new thing. Joel?
Yeah, I mean, I really hope they show something Fallout related. That would be amazing. I'm actually really excited to see the Microsoft keynote, just to see if all the crap they did for the first one, realizing, oh man, we got to make a 360 here, and totally change things around and be like, hey, we need to show games off. We need to make this look cool because wow, people do not give a crap about TV stuff.
Just asking, if they're making a 360, wouldn't they be exactly in the same place they were?
Yeah, that's a Sony move right there.
But because I think Sony's gonna wipe the table with stuff. They look like they're really about just actually making games, because that's the thing. What a console needs to basically promote itself as is it's literally just supposed to be a gaming machine. You turn it on and you play games. That's what it's for. All the rest of the features are secondary, except for the first thing, which is share, then gaming.
you say
share trumps gaming.
You say
that's to play game, but
that's what it's for. But I mean, to a lot of people, their Xbox is their Netflix machine, or it's a bunch of different things. For people these days, it really isn't just about gaming. For a lot of people, I mean, even if that's the thing you're most excited about.
But for me, I put Netflix on my PS3 just because I don't feel like turning on a Blu-ray. I don't feel like turning on like my Roku or something. It's really a matter of convenience. That was never a selling point, and Xbox really pushed their entertainment as their first. This is their first chance to make this is our big first impression,
right?
And they're we're entertainment. So I mean, I understand.
It's the same thing with your iPhone. I mean, like people, you still have the iPods, right? But for an iPhone, the single most thing is it's got to make good calls. It's got to do that right. But then everything else is a secondary. It's a great secondary, but it's got to, I think it's got to be your dedicated place where you just go to play your games. That's where your library of games is. That's where your friends are. That's where things are. But I was just really surprised that they focused that much time on TV, because I think all those TV stuff is really cool. A lot of this stuff is neat, because I mean, I use Kinect quite a bit when we just watching on Netflix, because when you're eating a sub or whatever, and you got two hands, it's like you can just say, "Hey, pause for a second." You stand up, walk over.
Well, I guess that's why it's done well in America.
Eating a sub and
when your hands are full of food, and you need to tell your television to turn on something new for you, you need a hands-free way so you don't have to put your food down.
It's the American dream.
It's not a need. It's not a need, but it actually works well. That's what I was impressed with it. Most Kinect games.
Joel eats big subs. It is a need. Two hands.
It's always.
I would agree with Joel, though. Like, I do think there is a lot of room for a much better media station experience, and whether that's Xbox, whether that's PlayStation, whether that's Steambox, I think that it'll be really cool to see where that goes, because I don't even sit in front of my TV right now. I don't even have a TV. I just have a PC.
I was going to say, what's this, my
I see
TV?
the need for it.
Right. Well, and I guess we might be a little bit jaded as those of us who are primarily PC gamers, because there's nothing that the Xbox is going to be able to do that I couldn't do 5 years ago on a PC when it comes to entertainment stuff. And I mean, when I lived in my old apartment, I had a PC that I built from leftover spare parts, not fast at all, but it streamed 1080p. I could do Netflix, Hulu, whatever. I mean, anything you wanted, you could stream on it. It could do downloads. It was DRM free. You didn't have to worry about staying in an ecosystem. You could just do whatever you wanted. Obviously, it wouldn't be as user friendly.
I mean,
necessarily set that up.
Yeah.
Well, you got to think about consoles like iPods. Your computer can play MP3s and play music, right? But why do a lot of people use iPods still? It's because it's like it's dedicated for that kind of use, right? So you can hook your computer up into your TV, and you can watch videos from it and stream it like a server. But the UI for it is not as friendly as something that's completely made to be on a big screen. That's why most console games have bigger icons, because you're seeing it on a bigger screen. If you're playing a PC game on a big TV, all the details are going to be a lot smaller, and it's not as friendly as if it was built specifically for a large TV environment to be sitting, have bigger buttons and stuff like that. That's just what it's made for. Right. So yes, you can do that, but this is supposed to be really plug and play. So it's so different, It
really is, and that's why I think there's so much room to expand there. I don't think of this necessarily in my context, but I think of it in the context of my dad. While it's the gamers that are going to get excited for and buy the games and and comment on the internet and kind of stir up hype, but at the same time, it's the families that I think of so many young couples that I know even now, and so many of them have an Xbox in their living room. And they're just starting to use the potential of it for gaming, for movies, for Netflix. And I remember having this discussion with my dad about what to do in the living room. Like, he wanted something to play DVDs, he wanted something to play Blu-rays, he wanted something, to watch TV on, he wanted something for Netflix. And, I could say, well, I could build a media station PC for you that could do all those things, but it's not really going to do it all with the ease that some of these new consoles will probably do it. And even though Xbox is really swinging for the fence on that area, I think PS3 probably is more than they say. But they're going to trust PS4? That's going to happen after the games and not before it. Mm-hmm. Which is, I think, wise.
All right, Joy, what are you looking forward to?
So I don't know quite as much as you guys do about a lot of this stuff. But I like watching the videos about the new games coming out, because since I don't research online a lot, it's nice to see an overview of what's coming out for the year. And I especially like when the videos are actually gameplay videos and not just like a trailer video that shows you nothing about the actual game. So that I like seeing just the actual gameplay, and then I can go, oh, that's something I would like to play.
And you like that more than some people wear masks to protect us all. No information, Call of Duty Ghosts.
And I do not want to see any more Kinect. I'm so over that.
Well, I think you might want to skip the Microsoft press.
I know, pretty much. I'm so tired of let's use our hands to wave at the screen to do everything.
All right, Steve, what are you excited for this conference that you just found out existed?
Everything.
You've just found out that Santa is real. What do you want for Christmas?
Yeah, I am quite ignorant of this. I'm looking forward to finding out what goes on at an E3.
Well, if you want to see millions of dollars spent on a 1-hour press conference, there's some.
Yes.
If you want to watch what it looks like when every single word is scripted for an entire hour, and it's
and when a
painfully
publisher
obvious.
packs the audience with shills to cheer at the right time.
As far as games are concerned, I mean, DayZ, like Dave said, is the obvious choice there. I'm pretty interested in Battlefield 4, but I've never played any of the Battlefield games. I've just watched Chris play. But Battlefield 3 is cool. But I don't really know what goes on at these things or what else is coming out. So
it's big press conferences, and then there are booths where people can go and play a lot of the games that are being announced at press conferences. So it's really just here's what we're doing for the next year. I mean, it's like WWDC or any of those other conferences. It's just people showing off what they've got going on for the next year in their video game technology, the games themselves, new consoles, things like that. So especially there's a very heavy emphasis on the holiday season too. So
there's a lot of scripted banter, and it's really
it's really painful when they try to get someone here's someone people will like, and then they try to get them to be funny, but it's all scripted funny. Oh, it's so painful.
I'm gonna beat your high score next time, don't you worry.
Comedy.
No, that's. I think the funniest one was the sports one. I think it was last year. They showed off what is that? The sports game for the Kinect, and it was the football. Do you remember that, Dave? They had like these two grown men like out there like, all right, you ready? Okay, they're like talking to each other, and then they're getting ready to do their plan and stuff. But the whole gameplay mechanic was you just go like this, and then you toss. Like, what? Who would ever like? We're gonna discuss first. Like, oh gosh,
it's just
so
like
bad.
you know what the people are really gonna do. They're gonna do just what they did with the Wii when they discovered they could play golf sitting down on their couch, just swinging the Wii
Not
back
playing
and
a game
forth.
like this.
Yeah. So yeah,
if you guys
people,
want,
lazy finds a way.
in my personal opinion, the absolute worst E3 press conference ever. You guys need to search for the Konami press conference. I think it was 2011. It was a series of conferences by them. It's hard to watch. I can't always finish the video.
No, Ubisoft was the worst. Mr. Caffeine.
Was Ubisoft the one where they had Aisha Tyler and then this some YouTube personality?
Okay, that's my second favorite. I will admit that is my second favorite. That whole year was just absolutely horrific. Like it was like watching a train wreck over a live stream.
Yeah, there's the only press conference I've seen worse. It wasn't at E3. It was earlier this year or late last year. I can't remember. I think it was early this year when Samsung announced. Yeah, it was early this year. They were announcing the Samsung Galaxy S4, and they had a special press conference. Did anyone watch that?
Is that the one you sent me, Dave? That
is that the
Qualcomm?
The one that got really sexist, like really quick.
Oh no, not that one actually.
I saw the Qualcomm one. That one was amazing.
There was one where they were trying to do like some sketch in this living room, and I don't even know how it tied into the phone. Like it didn't make sense at all. But there's some sketch in the living room, and like this woman and this man are joking around, but they're portraying her as like being a ditz, and he's making fun of her. And then then the guy said something like, or something, or I'll hit you. And we were like, what?
Oh gosh.
And the internet was like, oh, that's not good.
The one Joel's talking about is the it's the Qualcomm conference from January where their theme was Born Mobile. And they have these three characters, the over the top ditzy like texting girl, the super obnoxious douchebag Xbox gamer, and I don't know, the entrepreneur / I was a business major and I've spent all my low money.
Not actually doing anything with my degree.
Yeah. But the idea was like the theme was Born Mobile, but they had these three actors come out playing those characters, and it was so over the top cheesy. But it all kept leading back to that tagline, like, I'm born mobile, like, I can be anything I want to be like a gamer or an entrepreneur. And then the CEO, I kid you not, like, steps out of a fog bank and he's like, or a CEO. And you could tell it was like supposed to be this big, like, it was supposed to be like this big dramatic moment, like, everyone's like, yeah, CEO. But it was just dead quiet and he's just grinning on the stage, and it's like dead silent.
That sounds like
So
an ad
awkward.
you'd see like in the mid-90s when people are trying to get you to buy cell phones, because that's all Qualcomm really does, right? Is cell
Yeah.
phones. So they're like, who can own a cell phone? A mom can own a cell phone. Your grandparents can own cell phones. Even a store owner. Everybody can own a cell phone.
I have
one's
a
worth a
question.
watch.
If you're born mobile, does that mean your umbilical cord's wireless?
Technology is amazing.
Well, unless it's like Bluetooth, then you got to stay within 30 feet or you die. But
It's pretty funny how much E3 has changed, actually, because I really got big into it. James got me into it when the Nintendo Wii was coming out. It was 2 years before it actually came out when they announced it. It was originally like the Revolution. I remember watching that one, and I
which
think
is a way better name.
Yeah, the keynote for Wii was amazing. Seeing that first video with the motion controller, that blew my mind, because I was like, whoa, I just never seen something like that. And they actually,
The possibilities.
yeah, the possibilities of it. And they had a really
And
slick
the
campaign.
letdowns.
Well, Microsoft did the same thing when they showed you Project Natal, like the early
man.
version of Kinect.
Oh,
You saw that,
that
you were like,
remember that little kid like you
this-
could like interact with? I
yeah,
was just
this
like,
is the
"That's awesome."
future. And then all it was is, just shaking your hands around trying to get a dodgeball to bounce off
Did you guys see
something.
the Xbox one with the Microsoft one with it was like really dance focused? I think it was the same year that Kinect came out,
Yes.
and they had a whole stage full of dancers. I was like,
Now, to be fair, Just
I'm
Dance
not
did
your demographic.
it did really well. Like, they did definitely make a lot of money off of that. I think they were trying to turn that into the next rock band, though. But what they forgot was people want to sit while they play games.
Oh, remember the Wii Music one? That one was great. Like the drummer's like,
Remember that?
Will you do that again? Please.
This is good radio right here.
Yeah.
You guys just imagine Joel looking ridiculous as usual. That's about it.
I think we're ready to the main part of the show this evening. We're going to take some E3 predictions. So I think we'll do one each. Like, we're going to do 3 predictions each, but we'll do, each person will go around in a circle. We'll do one at a time. So the rules are it has to be specific enough that the answer can be yes or no to whether or not it happens. Like, it can't be a game will come out. It has to be something specific enough that we can pretty clearly tell if it came true or not. So we'll go down the line, and as usual, we'll start with Chris. And I think, Joel, you're typing all these out?
Yep.
All right.
All right. This may not qualify, but we'll see. I predict there will be lots of ignorant talk about how the new consoles are more powerful than PCs.
All right, get a little more specific.
Like something
How so?
specific. What's something specific?
Stupid people
they'll say?
saying the consoles are more powerful than the PC, but they are PCs.
At a press conference, so you're saying
Yes.
either Microsoft
Yes.
or Sony's, one of their presenters will say that this console
I
is
said
more
lots,
powerful.
so more than two or more.
2 or more times, someone will say during one of the press conferences is more powerful than a gaming PC or a high-end PC or something along those
Or
lines.
just a PC, yeah.
All right,
And I will
cool.
sob quietly.
All right, Dave,
Am I just doing one prediction for right now?
one at a time. Yeah, we're gonna go around in a circle.
Okay. I predict that there will not be an announcement of a DayZ standalone alpha release date.
Ooh,
Ouch.
you're playing against your feelings there.
Let me qualify that. What I believe is this build that they're staying up late to work on for people to play on the floor. I think within 4 weeks that will be the build that's released. However, I don't believe they're going to announce a date until it's like ready to go, like they're pressing the button to put it live. I don't think that's going to happen. There's a lot of people expecting to hear a release date, I think, at E3, but I really think Rocket knows better than to like lock themselves into a date. So I think we're
Okay.
not going to hear a date at E3.
All right, James.
I predict that Metal Gear will be a launch release.
Launch window or launch date?
Launch window release.
All right, launch
So
window.
probably not,
release.
maybe not the absolute day it comes out.
But within like
the
what?
system, but
a month? 2
maybe
months? A month.
Same
All right,
quarter,
and-
right? Is
Yeah,
that
I think.
usually how
Yeah,
it
I think.
works?
I think launch is within 3 months. I think.
Within
Yeah.
3 months. Okay.
Did you guys hear that they're
Kiefer
they're having
Sutherland.
Kiefer Sutherland?
That's
Yeah.
actually pretty cool.
That's interesting.
I will miss
I mean-
the old guy's sound, the other guy's voice, but I mean, he was kind of over like, "Hey guys," like it was just like
It's like the Batman drug voice.
Yeah, it's like as you play it, you like get used to it. But I think Kiefer Sutherland will do a great job.
All right. Let me see. What's going to be my first prediction? I am going to. Gosh, I wasn't that prepared because listening to everyone else. I didn't write mine down ahead of time. I know I told you guys to write them down, but I was thinking about a bunch earlier. I gotta hedge some bets here. I'm going to predict that a DayZ standalone date is released.
Ooh. You're like that jerk on like Wheel of Fortune who bets like $1 under. Come on.
Hey Dave, if you lose, you win.
It's true.
That's true.
I like this bet.
All right, Joel.
I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna be
Don't say it.
Half-Life 3.
Half-Life 3 is going to be announced.
Yeah, I'm gonna go just teased. And wow, I think our power's flickering right now. Hi guys.
See, Joel, that's all it takes is you just mentioned the name Half-Life 3 and the thunder cracks and the
Gaben
lights
can
flicker.
hear you.
Joy,
It
are
will
you
come
seeing the
when
lights
I'm
flicker
ready,
too?
my son.
You seen the lights flicker too, Joy?
Yeah, they're flickering.
I've been watching too much Supernatural.
Is it storming there?
I'm gonna die.
Is your breath getting cold?
I know.
All right, Joy, what's your first prediction?
Well, I didn't get the memo from Joel
Oh,
that we were
no.
going to be doing predictions. So my first prediction is going to be against Joel, and there will not be a Fallout announcement at E3.
All right,
No
at first I was going
Fallout
to say I
announcement.
predict Joel cries that there's not a Half-Life 3, but now I'm going to predict that I cry if there's not a Fallout.
Wait, it's not your
Darn
turn. You're
you,
gonna put that
Joy.
next, right?
All right,
Bad time.
Steve.
So I'm just stealing other people's predictions because I didn't have any. Let's see. Well, one I found. This might work.
Commit.
I know, right? The Xbox One will be out in November and will launch at $400.
All right. Release date November, $400.
Are you gonna source your or cite your source?
No, absolutely not. This is my prediction.
All right, Chris.
All right. This will get more specific. I predict I'll want a PS4 by the end. Stinking fantastic exclusives. Yes, I'm looking at you, Naughty Dog.
All right. Well, no, but
basically that means I expect to see a
quantify
Naughty Dog game will get
then,
announced that I will want to play.
Okay, so it's got to be a Naughty Dog game, because otherwise you can just say, no matter what, you can say, "Yep, I want one."
Yeah, no, I won't do that. I'll be honest, but I am tying it down to a Naughty Dog exclusive that I will want to play and won't be able to unless I have one.
All right.
Do you have a PS3 to play?
He's played the
Last
first.
of Us?
No, sadly, I
But
may
I'm
have
gonna
to amend that.
But I'm going to be first in line after you, Joel, if you don't mind.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Dave, what's your next prediction?
My next prediction, I was talking to Joel about this today. I think that one of the things we're going to see announced for Battlefield 4, and I'm going to kind of go into a little bit of detail here, is going to be the return of actual naval combat. I'm not sure what kind of scale. We probably won't see aircraft carriers you can control, like the original Battlefield, which makes me sad, but I'm thinking bigger ships than just the patrol boats, basically. Maybe some submarines and like some cruisers, some kind of naval combat. And as part of that, I'm thinking that for the first time ever, the water in Battlefield 4 will hopefully not be a single flat plane with an animated texture. We might actually see some more physical water mesh and some wave effects, kind of like Crysis has done in the past.
Cool.
That would be awesome.
Naval stuff, basically, and water improvements. I think that's what I'm hoping for, please.
If only they'd open that system up to modders.
Yeah.
I want a naval combat game.
James?
Well, I predict that there will be at least 2 old series revived pre-2000. So whether it be from the SNES days or Nintendo days, not necessarily from them.
Now revived, so that doesn't count.
So something like Banjo-Koozie, which was,
Kazooie.
Okay.
Not Koozie.
Kazooie.
Whatever. You can see how much I played that game.
You said, like...
I also predict that
Super
DuckTales will
NES,
be awesome.
64. Hey! I think that's already going to be. So I have revived Super NES / N64 type games. Pre-2000.
All right.
Yes.
My next one is the PS4 will have most of the draconian anti-used games DRM features of the Xbox One, but they won't talk about them at the press conference.
And their stocks won't go down because of it either.
So it's going to have the same DRM stuff. A
lot of the same DRM stuff. I'm not going to tie down to what exact specifically, but they haven't really talked about anything yet. And if they didn't have a bunch of DRM on it, they would happily be throwing that in Microsoft's face right now.
I don't know. I would wait because Xbox could possibly do something different if they said.
Well, it's my prediction. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Joel.
I'm not trying to... You go with that.
All right, Joel, you're next.
I was going to say, I kind of hope that Metal Gear Solid 5 is a PS4 game. Because I feel like it's the graphics seen from it look pretty amazing. And, I mean, The Last of Us does look pretty awesome. But the video they show looks like it's in 1080p too. So I have a feeling it could be a
James already said he thought it was going to be he predicted it was going to be a launch game.
Oh yeah. Sorry, never mind.
No, you can still predict. I mean, you're wrong all the time, so don't stop now from my account.
I'm going to be wrong, and you're somehow going to.
You could say it's not going to come out on the PS3. That's different.
No, then I'll change. I'll change it.
Don't look so sad.
Okay, I'm gonna say that Destiny is gonna be cross-platform between PS3 and Xbox.
Cross-platform?
Yeah.
All right.
Like, as in people one can play.
So I
with
could
people
play
from
against
another?
you on a PS4 if I had an Xbox.
Oh man, I'll take those odds.
We put money on this.
Just because
I
it's
want
going
in
on
on
both
this.
systems. Just because they're going on both systems. So, and they said they might be bringing it to PC as well. So,
All right.
In the past, every game that's been multi-platform has been so cross-platform. So,
well, now that I'm just saying that because both consoles are now the x86 or whatever. So, I'd say there's a better chance if it ever happens. So,
All right.
it's a weak thing, but it's mine.
Hey, you gotta hedge your bets. All right, Joy.
Okay, my next one will be that there will be at least 5 separate Kinect demonstrations. So not within like the same category, but there'll be like a demonstration for a certain game, and there'll be a demonstration for the TV, and I don't know. There'll be 5
You just
of
got
those.
a guaranteed point.
We're just gonna put win by that.
did they mention anything about ordering food or anything through Kinect at the last conference? I don't remember. It was all a big.
I thought the
bad
Wii U
dream.
you can order pizza.
Well, I thought Xbox. I thought Kinect has that now with the new Xbox dashboard.
You may be right.
You can order. I thought you could order pizza through it.
That'd be cool if they added more of that. I mean, if it's not going to play
Because that's
games,
what
at least
people
better be good at everything
Make me a
else.
sandwich.
Because us Americans, we want more food.
What if Kinect
Exactly.
Bill
freaks
wants
out?
two-handed subs, everyone.
Shut up.
My only question is, do you pay for your pizza in Microsoft points? Like buy a
I heard
giant
they were
packet
getting
of
rid of
Xbox.
those.
8,000 points is
What if
worth
they're-
$3.70. The exchange rate makes no sense.
Joy, for your next prediction, can you? I don't know if you already have something. Can you predict our next Lego games? Because they haven't. Well, they haven't announced anything.
Okay,
Lego
I'll
Star
work on that.
Wars.
All right. Steve, what's your next totally original prediction?
I'm sorry. The next one I had was Microsoft will show off the video capture and sharing features of the Xbox One with the Kinect features.
Wow.
I know, right?
That's a good guess, Steve. All right.
Hey, I want to win.
Well, nothing like standing on the shoulders of educated industry insiders to help you do that.
I know, right?
All right, Chris.
Well, I had one, but I'm going to skip it because it was basically what your last one was. So, I predict that out of the... Microsoft is supposed to have a bunch of new exclusives, and I predict that unlike Sony, none of them will make me want to buy the console.
All right.
So, Microsoft won't have an exclusive. That's a selling point.
All right.
Mine is kind of related to that, but I'm still going to roll with it. The last console that I actually bought was the GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say that there will be nothing that I see at E3 that will change that. At all.
All right. Well, those are kind of probably a gimme point, but we'll let you have it. James?
Well, this has already been talked about by analysts, but I think they're going to do price drops with the current gen systems. I'm actually hoping on it.
Can you give us a range, though? Because they almost always do a price drop or something. So
Like at least $50.
$50 price drop on one or both
on the
systems?
Xbox 360 and PS3.
Okay. That seems very plausible.
Potential half point there.
All right, mine is, and this is not the newest thing in the world, but I do think there's a very good chance it'll happen. They're going to announce a PS4 bundle that comes with a Vita bundled in with it.
I predict I would buy that.
Easy points.
I tag on that bet. I sent Joy a link today from GameStop, and it was a bundle of the 3DS XL with Animal Crossing on it. The new one is coming out in a couple days. The game is really freaking addicting. It's like, I want this. I think they're gonna drop the Microsoft points.
In favor of real money?
Yeah.
Didn't they already say they were doing that?
Yeah, it's confirmed.
Is it confirmed? I never read that.
Didn't
So
know
I'll
that.
take back. I'll take
Big
it back.
surprise to
Wait,
Joe.
that's
I predict that
win! I
Microsoft's
won!
conference will be before Sony's. I win.
I predict the Wii U is gonna crash and burn in the next year and a half.
What is? Your mic cut
Just
out.
kidding. Yeah,
Must be Nintendo.
Yeah.
No.
Oh man, what's he? Oh, I here's a good one. I don't think either company is going to talk about 3D.
Wait, hey,
Good
Joel,
prediction.
Hey, we haven't heard about that in a while. Thankfully.
What about your prediction that Microsoft was going to have Fallout as one of their big launch games?
That was a small wish.
No, you said
It's a big wish in my heart.
I bet that during their conference that's gonna be one of their big games. They're gonna show it off then.
Yeah, but I wouldn't bet on that one. You already have it too, so I didn't want to do a second.
All right,
Don't look at me like that.
Joy.
Judge me.
Oh, I was hoping Joel would keep stalling because I'm struggling to find a third prediction here.
I got one for Joel. I bet that if Half-Life 3 is not announced, Joel might cry. At least one single tear.
I will be
I don't
really
know.
depressed though if I don't hear anything at all, like nothing. and I don't even say at E3 because I don't think he's going to announce anything then. I don't know, who knows? But I feel like he's just
told
going to
me
show up
it
on
was
my
going to be
house.
at the VGA Awards. You were just absolutely
No,
sure.
I said
you were so
Fallout.
sure. No, they're going to do it this time.
Well, they
Year
did
after
it. They
year.
did that with Portal 2, so I don't know. I am going to be so depressed though because for the last 2 years, it's like I don't think it's going to happen, but it's like if it's going to happen, it's going to probably happen this week. Gosh, when nothing happens, man. James sends me so many hateful words.
All right, we're gonna go to Steve and we'll come back to Joy. So Joy, you have a couple more seconds.
Okay.
Okay, another completely original prediction. A little more specific this time. The PlayStation 4 will be announced to release in October for $500.
All right, October, $500.
There you go.
All
You're
right.
saying you're predicting it's going to be $100 more than the Xbox.
Well, we don't know what
Yes.
the Xbox is gonna be.
Well, that's what he predicted the first time.
Oh yeah.
400. Yep.
All right, Joy.
Okay, so I'm going to steal from James slightly because he said for me to make a Lego game prediction. But I can't actually think of any, so I'm going to predict that there will not be a Lego game announced in this one.
All right, that's pretty daring, actually.
Don't say that. My 5-year-old will not be happy.
Hey, I would not be
with
happy
Joel.
either.
I
I really
have to
want there to
warn
be
you.
another one, but can't think of anything.
I just have to warn you because you might want to change it because there is the Lego Marvel superheroes game,
I know, but I
Wow,
already
that's
kind
a
of know
lot
about
of-
that one.
and it's probably going to be shown off.
It probably will be, so I'm going to take the hit because I can't think of anything.
All right,
No, I will say no Lego games shown.
no Lego games shown. All right, that's fair. So the last question that Joel had for us this evening is: will Microsoft completely change what they did with the reveal of Xbox One and TV sports and stuff, and try to gain the gamers back? And no, I don't think they will, because I think Microsoft is doing what Sony did with the PlayStation 3. With the PlayStation 2, Sony dominated. The PlayStation 2, isn't it still the best-selling console of all time? So with like
PlayStation 2, yeah, I think
150
so.
million units, it has like the largest library. Like the PlayStation 2 dominated the early 2000s. I mean, that's not even up for debate. The PlayStation 2 won.
Yeah, it was.
So when it came time for the PlayStation 3, they were like, everyone knows that we play games. Everyone knows we're awesome. We can launch this thing at $600. People will line up to buy it. We've got 2 exclusives for launch and we are ready to go. And then no one wanted it for a while. I bought one like 6 months after they came out, and there still was like barely anything to play. So I think Microsoft is making the same mistake. They're resting on their laurels. It's people have talked about it's called the third generation curse. Sega's third console was the Saturn. Nintendo's third console was the N64. And Sony did it with the PS3, where they the first console, you're kind of learning how you want to do stuff. The second console, you improve on that and do really well. And the third one, you maybe overstep your bounds a little bit. And so far, most console manufacturers have done that. So I don't.
That's
I
why
think
they named it the
Microsoft is gonna-
Xbox One.
I think they're going to try to change course somewhat, but I still think they're going to mess it up. I think like the 15 exclusives they're talking about showing, or the 15 new IPs, I bet a lot of them are going to be like crappy spin-offs or, little
Kinect
arcade
games.
games, or maybe 5 of those Kinect games that Joy predicted. It's
Exclusive to Xbox.
I think Microsoft is really like they're going to they're not going to do a good job. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really crappy keynote for them. I think, but the sad part is they're still going to have Halo 5. It probably won't be shown, but I still want to get it because it's amazing. But man, I don't think they know how to market very well. I mean, the Xbox 360 is sounding crazy good. I mean, it's sounding good, but man,
I wouldn't write them off yet. I mean, I think that they could surprise us. I think there's still a fight here.
They could, and let's not forget, Sony is wonderful at designing really awesome hardware and systems that could be amazing, and then not doing anything with them, and not advertising and not marketing their stuff. So it's very possible.
I'm very glad they got rid of that cell thing, whatever they were doing with
the cell processor.
Yeah,
well,
I think the only company that knew how to utilize it was Naughty Dog.
I'm hoping I should have made this prediction. If they mention Wonderbook, I am turning the stream off. Last year, that's like 20 minutes of Wonderbook. No one.
Oh, yeah, that was bad.
If people have small children, they care about Wonderbook. But people aren't watching the Sony press conference going, what can I get for my 6-year-old?
Man.
I'm not doing that, trust me.
They can play the old consoles because they don't know any different, and they better be grateful. Does anyone else have any thoughts on that?
I think they'll change their tune a little bit, but not enough to really change the public opinion like, Sony has between the PS3 and the PS4. But like Chris said, they'll be good enough, I think, to still get the people buying their system. Mm-hmm. And I think if they can come in, $50 cheaper than the PS4, that might sway people a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. They could try to beat people on price. I'm kind of hoping none of the consoles are expensive as they were the last time around. I mean, but at the same time, I think didn't Sony say that they were going to actually profit on the system from launch this time around, where they were losing money like crazy on the last one?
I feel like
part of that though is they had the cell processor. I'm sure cost a lot of money.
Yeah, and AMD's probably cutting them a pretty good deal because AMD wants the money.
Nintendo, bad example. Nintendo didn't take a loss on their console, but they also didn't offer much in it either.
They repackaged the GameCube's guts into a different box and added motion control. They probably had figured out how to make it cheap by that point. But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, Nintendo figured out how not to take a loss, but yeah, we'll see.
But they did mention that they're not going to, at least it's been implied that they're not going to go as high as they did before.
Right.
I don't think they can. I mean, for that price, yeah, you can buy a pretty nice PC.
Yeah. And But it
doesn't have a share button. That's the only.
Yeah,
it's true. It doesn't have a share button.
If I could have a fourth prediction, I'm not going to add it, but I think they're going to be close to it's at least $400 or a little bit under. That's why.
Are you sure you don't want to change out one of your other ones for that? Because that's a better prediction than your other ones.
Maybe I should. Can I steal his prediction?
Yeah, Joey, you could steal his if you wanted to. Well, you did pick up the Lego game one. You already have some pretty good ones.
I'll take out the Destiny. Will be cross-platform since you guys all bash me.
There's no way that's going to happen.
We were nice enough while you said it, though.
I just want to say I'm getting rid of it. But if somehow they do say cross-platform, I get a point for that.
Wait,
what
that's
do we
not getting rid of it, man.
That makes no sense.
Hey, Joel, how about this? Double or nothing. If it doesn't happen, you lose a point.
Okay, whatever.
All right.
I'm so confused.
Point 8. These points are meaningless, like toll booth workers.
Of course, we're relying on you to accurately write all these down. Who knows what you've been typing out for the last couple of minutes?
Every line is, you
2
guys
weeks
are
from
gay.
now, I'm
you
not
guys
going to
are
remember
gay.
any of this.
Bill's just typing over there, I like consoles.
I'm going to say consoles are going to
cost...
Over and
over again.
All right, guys, that's going to be
no more than 400.
Well,
changing that.
Okay. That's going to be
Joel just shouted at me.
That's going to be the podcast for this week. We'll be back to our more normal format, and we'll hopefully be live again in a couple weeks, and we'll be talking about lots of E3 stuff. Hopefully we'll have a lot of DayZ stuff to talk about. And we're going to, we got some special stuff planned for DayZ, so stay tuned. And thank you guys for listening. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at JERMgaming, follow the podcast at Casual Shenanigans, follow Dave at EvilViking13, follow Joel at BoundlessMP. No one else wants to be followed from the podcast. I said Evil Viking.
No, you said 13. The Twitter handle is at EvilViking. You were so close.
I knew it. Close. I just, yeah. Anyway.
Jeremiah, I'm disappointed.
Embarrassed.
Hashtag.
Oh, well, no. Okay. All right. Small detour. Welcome to 90 Seconds with Jeremiah, a part of the podcast where Jeremiah talks about something for 90 seconds.
Well, we can do that?
Okay. Do any of you use Instagram?
Thankfully, no.
No.
Okay. Well, there's this thing on Instagram, and I don't understand it. People put so many hashtags on their pictures of things, and they'll like take the dumbest, most boring self-shot in the mirror, and they'll put like 30 tags on it. And this isn't good SEO. This is people who don't know how SEO works. So like, if I put in popular words, people will find what I'm looking for. But there's this one word people use all the time. I see it all the time. It's Insta-good. Like one word, like Instagram, insta good. Like the picture they've taken is instantly good, and every time I see it, it makes me want to ban them. But some of them are friends, so I can't.
This generation.
You'll appreciate this, Jeremiah. I saw a one of those Instagram posts posted over on Reddit, and the guy had taken a self shot of himself in the mirror after like gelling up his hair, and of course, like the first tag was Insta good. But he had like 180.
That guy,
or something,
yeah,
hashtags.
I saw that guy. He had like the stud in his eyebrow. That guy.
Yeah, and the great part was some of the comments is like, this guy went through and hashtagged this thing 181 times, and Instagram limits it at like 28. After 28, it like stops counting them, and they're just gone. It's like, how narcissistic can you be?
Narcissistic enough to take a picture of yourself in the mirror every single day.
Speaking of narcissism, I filmed our entire cabin trip, and I felt kind of douchebaggy doing it. So it was like just filming each other, having a good time. I'm gonna put some really chill hipster music to it. And
Feels like, and this is where we all get murdered. I'm just the dude with the camera. But yeah. Anyway, okay, so that's the podcast. Thank you everybody for joining us, and subscribe to all our stuff on YouTube, everything like that. I don't feel like saying it all this time, but
speaking of narcissism, love us,
love us.
Go see Man of Steel. Go see Man of Steel.
I make a tiny amount of money off your patronage. A statistically insignificant amount, but I still like it. Okay. All right, guys.
I know that feel.
Thank you for watching.
All that money's from my mom.
Thank you for watching, and have a good day. Bye.
See you guys.